Welcome back. I'm not gonna waste time. I've spent the last 2 weeks digging into all the information I could find on Francois. That's surprisingly little in the single box I was able to sort, but that makes sense. He's a master of media manipulation and has previously gone dark for years. I'm not gonna delay it anymore. Francois is a menace to the world, and you need to know about him and his dastardly deeds. I don't think anyone knows where it came from. Some claim he was an alien that landed on Earth and was cared for by a random boy in the California suburbs. But I think that was just someone trying to explain Francois using the plot of E.T. There's some that place the blame on Evil LLC themselves, stating that Francois was created in their labs. The passion project done in the labs after hours was to bring Francois, a scientist's loved pet, to life because the scientist could not bear to be parted from him. But the project failed, and the body was tossed onto the large organic waste composite pile outside of Evil LLC's labs. To everyone's surprise, Francois was brought back to life by the magic of the corpse pile. Yeah, that's just Frankenstein and Pet Sematary combined with the fact that magic's real. Others, myself included, believe he's always been here, gestating under the earth, waiting for his time. An eldritch horror along the same lines as Cthulhu, who Evil LLC also has eyes on, and an occasional poker game with. This theory goes far into explaining how Francois completely disappears between his attacks. But I should probably tell you what he is, or at least what he looks like. Francois is a small, bug-eyed dog, slightly smaller than your average Chihuahua. He has orange fur and a spiked red collar. The only dog tag he wears says "Wild Thing." He is incredibly intelligent, but has a weakness of not being able to shut up. More than one of Evil LLC's agents have been saved from death by getting the little bastard talking long enough for backup to arrive. Of course, that's also why he's so dangerous. In the past, he has gotten several disparate groups that would never think to even speak to each other without his involvement to join forces for a common goal. The best example of this in modern times was on November 22nd, 1963, when he masterminded the assassination of JFK. Let's rule a few things out before we move on. There was no magic bullets, and there was no person taking a shot from the grassy knoll, though there was a shooter. The shooter was sent by the elves. It was a team of pygmy hamsters radicalized by unsanitary conditions in their enclosure and the lack of a hamster ball to move freely around the room. It's unclear how the team of hamsters set up a rifle, aimed it, and fired, but 3 chipmunks had a #1 Christmas track a few years earlier, and the rodent world felt it needed to up its game. There was another team ready to jump in, but their services weren't required. A militant sect of those weird tax aliens were angry at Kennedy for something I can't remember, and were recruited by Francois, since they weren't allowed weapons due to angry taxman with a gun being twice as scary as postman with a gun. It's unclear what their job was if both shooters failed, but their services weren't needed anyway. Francois' alliance was a success, and even the Freeman of Lee Harvey Oswald went off without a hitch. Hell, to make sure he didn't tell the feds that it was a Cheeto-colored bug-eyed dog thing that took the shot, Oswald was himself silenced before he got to jail. That's not all the evil monster has done. His diabolical presence has mocked human history. As mentioned, he was pretty active in the U.S. during the 1960s, but he also taught Nero to play the fiddle. His picture is in hundreds of photos taken moments before natural disasters, and he's been seen in paintings of the most evil people in history, whispering in their ear as they scritch behind his and say he's a good dog. He isn't. He's a bad boy, a very bad boy who needs his nose rubbed in human history. Evil LLC has a division set up specifically to watch for him because any move he makes is sure to change the course of civilization. With that out of the way, let's look in the boxes. Since the opener took longer than I expected, I'm gonna have to rush through the next few, and this one's simple. It's the conspiracy surrounding 5G towers and how many believe they're radioactive or some such nonsense. That was actually a lie created by Evil LLC when 5G towers were first being set up. They couldn't let people get near them for two reasons. First, people are dumb and have found a way to injure themselves with the most mundane objects ever. I seem to remember a quote from a Yosemite Park ranger that says, "There is considerable overlap between the smartest bears and the dumbest tourists." Well, I'm sure he meant something different. I just take it to mean people are dumb. I think I saw that quote in these papers somewhere. I'll look into it later. Second, 5G towers hide the entrance to all the worlds you read about in fiction. Narnia, Oz, Middle-earth, Hogwarts, Dinotopia, and all the others. That's right, the energy required to create 5G cell reception opened portals to the lands of imagination. Of course, it also opened the gates to less than great worlds. Dante's Inferno, which is literally just hell, the Warhammer universe, or as I like to call it, hell in space, and Westeros, which just disappears after a while because George R.R. Martin won't pick up a damn pen. So, to keep people away, Evil LLC peddled the myth that 5G towers give people cancer and the things that come out of it steal your children. Actually, that last one's a little true, but Evil LLC's been trying to deal with Pan for years. This can't be. Apparently Godzilla's real. I guess even I'm learning something from these boxes. I thought the movies were just entertainment, but apparently the giant lizard really does rampage through Japan every few years. This one specifically says that the 1998 Godzilla movie starring Matthew Broderick, and I'm sure there were other people in there, that movie was complete garbage, at least when it comes to a factual depiction of Godzilla's exploits. This report isn't about Godzilla specifically, though. The comment about the American movie is just added in the margins as if it's required to be anything Godzilla related. Instead, it deals with the Korea Strait, the body of water separating Korea and Japan. Through this strait, the distance is 120 miles between mainlands, or 200 kilometers for those who haven't adopted the far superior method of measurement, giving a drunk mongoose a Sharpie and having it point at numbers until you decide that's good enough for the next increment. With such a short distance, why has Godzilla never attacked Korea? Apparently there's an answer for that, and this is just as believable to me as Godzilla himself. K-pop. Apparently, the highly choreographed dancing of multiple people and their melodic voices was originally created as a way to keep Godzilla from crossing the strait. Tourists saw it though and liked it, so Korea decided to change the lyrics from bad lizard go back into the ocean to stop, let the ocean take you away, lizard. Lizard became girl for international purposes, and now it's a #1 hit. All the while, Godzilla's terrorizing Japan, and they want to learn how to K-pop or something. I honestly don't know. This one makes about as much sense to me as it does to you. This last one is one I found while digging through the box searching for information on Francois, and I figured it was a good one to bring up considering Jelly Bean Pop Tart has been saying we need to video chat. I decided we should do it over a dinner, and they sent me a recipe to make so we'd be eating the same thing. We decided on something simple and cheap since Jelly Bean Pop Tart isn't exactly flowing in cash, so we decided on boxed mac and cheese and hot dogs. That's actually the conspiracy I read about. The price of those items when you compare them to items that are healthy. The total for those items is approximately $5. An equally substantial healthy meal would cost 3 times as much. Why do you think that is? It's an ongoing campaign by Evil, LLC, to keep the prices of healthy food high and junk food cheap. As the group that brought this campaign to the company secretly says, a chili cheese dog a day keeps the doctor in business. Yes, that's right. The medical cabal gives Evil, LLC, a check every year to keep the people of the world unhealthy. That said, questionable meat hot dogs with equally questionably orange mac and cheese is still delicious. And I get to spend time with Jelly Bean Pop Tart, so I'll risk it. Also, I finally get to see my Jelly Bean Pop Tart for the first time. So have a good night, people. Stay suspicious.